Whew. Boy, it is a hot one outside. Hey guys, I don't know if you've been outside today. Mr. Ben and I have been out feeding the chickens, working in the garden, got all dirty, got all sweaty. Oh, I bet your mom wouldn't let you sit down at the dinner table like this because, wow, have you ever been gross like that? Where somebody looked at you and said, whew, you need a shower. Whew. Or even worse, maybe somebody saying, hey, you're not dressed right. You don't have the nicest clothes on. You don't fit in. And sometimes people make you feel sort of less, sort of not as good, because they look at the outside, they look at your hair, and they look at your clothes. Well, you know what an amazing thing is about our God? Is He doesn't look at the outside. So there's a really cool story in the Bible. This one's in the Old Testament. We've been talking about ones in the New Testament toward the back. This one's in the beginning of the Bible. It's in the Old Testament, and it's in 1 Samuel. And the chapter is 16. And we're going to start down at verse 7. So let me tell you how this story is going. Samuel, and you might remember we learned about Samuel when he was a very little boy, and he listened to God say, hey, I need you to do what I'm asking you. And he said, speak, Lord. And he grew up into a man what's called a judge, sort of like a super pastor, okay? So he still had this tight connection with God. And God was looking around in those Bible times, and he looked at his country and he said, man, we need a leader. We need a new king. The king that we have, his insides are pretty rotten. So Samuel, I want you to go out to this certain house where there's a bunch of brothers. That's where you're going to find the next king. So Samuel says, okay, that's cool. So he walks out to this house, and the dad's name in this house is Jesse. And he says, Jesse, my name is Samuel. God sent me to your house because one of your sons is going to be the king. Can you imagine what your grown-up would do? What your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, they'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Somebody in my house is going to be the king. So Jesse looked around, and he had all these boys in his house, and he went, I wonder which one. That one right there. And it says that they looked at the oldest one, and Jesse, the dad, said, come here, Samuel. This is the one that's going to be king. I am telling you, this is the right one. And this son was very tall, and he was very handsome, and he had big muscles, and he dressed nicely. And he says, yes. He looked sort of like Gaston, okay? So he's like, yes, I could be king. And Samuel goes, actually, he looks pretty good. God, this is the one you want to be king, right? Because he looks good. He's handsome. He has a deep voice. He has muscles. He looks like a king to me. What do you think, God? And God said to Samuel the coolest thing in verse number 7. He spoke to Samuel in his head, and he said, Samuel, the Lord said, don't judge somebody by their face, how handsome they are, or by their height, how tall they are. Don't judge somebody for their deep voice or how they look like. It says, because guess what, Samuel? This isn't the guy. I, God, don't make decisions the way you do, like people do. I don't judge by the outside. I look at a man's thoughts, and I look at what's inside his heart. Isn't that amazing? God looks at our thoughts and what's in our hearts. And Samuel said, the rest of the story was really pretty cool, because Samuel said, well, Dad, Jesse, this isn't the right one. And so Dad brought his next son and his next son and his next son, and they were all handsome and manly, and they had muscles, and they all looked good on the outside. But each time, God said to Samuel, no, I'm judging by thoughts and what's in their heart. I judge by the inside. Doesn't matter what the outside looks like.
So finally, all the sons were in the living room. And Jesse said, this is it. You turned everyone down. They all look very like kings to me. And Samuel said, no, the Lord says this isn't the right one. Are you sure you don't have any other sons? Because I know this is where the king is supposed to be. And Jesse says, well, yeah, I do have one more son. He's the youngest, sort of a puny kid. He's a little younger. He likes to hang out outside. His feet are dirty a lot. He takes care of the sheep, and surely that's not who you want to be king. So Samuel says, well, let's go find him anyway. So they ran out, and they got the son. Jesse sent for him, it says. And in verse 12, he said, he was a fine-looking boy, but he was young. He was a boy. He was ruddy-faced. He was sort of red because he'd been running around and running to the house. And the Lord said to Samuel, that's the one. I looked at his thoughts, and I looked at his heart. This young boy, who doesn't look very much like a king on the outside, he's going to be the next king. Because to God, what's on the inside is what's more important than what's on the outside. I think that's pretty cool, because the devil tells us sometimes, you're not good enough. Look at you. You're not old enough. You don't have enough school. You're not a grown-up yet. You did something bad yesterday. But God says, I'm looking at your heart, and I know you loved me. And yeah, you did something bad, but you said sorry, and you're trying hard going forward. God looks at your thoughts and looks in your heart. And even though you and I don't look much like a king on the outside, to God, inside, you glow like the most beautiful diamond. Having said that, our craft today is really like a science project. It's in the box that was mailed to you this week. So remember, as you're doing this project, God may see the outside look sort of dirty and gross, but on the inside, he sees beautiful inside of you and me. All right, guys, it's an amazing God thing we're learning today. So shut this one down, go to your project video, have a wonderful time seeing how your God makes beautiful things inside of you and me and nature. And, I see Mr. Ben outside. Time to clean more chicken coops. All right, guys, see you later.